My name is Alexis Merrill. I'm owner of Planet Glory. And I'm sitting here with my friend, Miles, Miles Williams. Miles Williams is a public figure and advocate for mental health. And so, Miles, I'm going to let you introduce to the people, tell a
Yeah,
little bit about yourself.
cool. Public figure. That sounds like a big deal.
I wonder how
I,
you were going to feel
I
about
felt like a big deal.
that. You are a big deal.
I'm Miles Williams. I'm a lot of different things. But first and foremost, I'm a believer. I'm a dreamer. I have a lot of different hats and a lot of different roles that I play. I'm a Lego builder. I'm a juggler. I'm an athlete. All the things, right? I do all the things. All the things. Former principal. Like I've done a lot of different stuff. But more than anything, I really enjoy making people feel seen and feel loved and feel cared for, and a big advocate for therapy and mental health. So grateful to be able to be here and talk about it a little bit.
I'm happy you could be here.
Yeah.
So, with your mental health journey,
Yeah.
how did you push past the stigma that you face within yourself
Yeah.
so you can start therapy? How did you push past that and start therapy and not only do that, but take it a step forward and become a mental health advocate?
Yeah, great question. I did not always think therapy was for me. My family growing up, they were in therapy at different times for different things. And I was just like, that's not my thing. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't like them. I don't want to talk, whatever. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so I just turned inward. And a lot of those things I either internalized and didn't deal with, or just like, honestly, like, which I learned as a trauma response, kind of like push the need down there, forgot about it, and just let it go, right?
Yeah.
It probably wasn't healthy. But in college, towards the end of my college career, all my teammates died by suicide. And that rock shook me. And I realized that in order for me to be able to be the best version of myself, for me to get past this wasn't going to be a thing that I could just like push aside. This was something that I needed to get some support from and have someone else to be able to kind of help me process and get through it. And so I went to therapy and really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed being able to tell someone something and not feel judged. And I enjoyed being able to go into therapy one week and the next week we could talk about something completely different. And seeing so many various sides of myself show up in that space, and having someone who was just there for me was a really, really cool thing. And so I wasn't ever told that therapy wasn't okay for me, or that my friends never teased me, or never felt embarrassed by the people who were around me and who loved me, which I think is important. But I really had to fight through those things myself. And I think the more that I went to therapy, the more I showed up and realized like, oh, like this is a cheat code. Like, I'm really grateful to have it.
What would you say has been one of the benefits of being open about therapy?
I would be real. So men, like, or young men in particular, like if you are really like into like dating, people love people who are intentionally taking care of themselves, right? So if you are like going to therapy, reflecting on things, taking accountability for things,
that's a big one. We need
apologizing, like holding space for people, listening, present with people, like you are gonna be on a different level than like anybody else, right? And then if you're attractive and are like out of trouble, you won. You won. Like it's that simple. Like for real. Like it really is that easy. And so like much less for anybody else, but for yourself, I think it's important to be able to go there and figure yourself out, right? No other time or no other place do you have 60 minutes of undivided attention. And some people don't like that. Like that can be really hard for people, right? But at the same time, like there's no other time where you have to yourself to really reflect and talk and think and like with no judgment. And literally that person is sitting there and they're paid to listen to you, right? They're not listening to you because they have to. They're not listening to you and cooking their dinner. They're not listening to you and driving. Like they're solely there to be there with you, and you can't beat that presence.
Yeah.
And then also you come back the next week, you could talk about something completely different that has
Mhm.
nothing to do with what we talked about last week. And then 2 weeks later, go back to the thing you were talking about 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
and like they're there
Yeah.
and they remember what happened and they
Mhm.
remember like how you said you were feeling. Um, yeah, that's really important.
Yeah.
I think people need that. Yeah, so I think that there's so many benefits. I always appreciate having a mirror held to myself, as hard
Mhm.
as that can be. Like,
Mhm.
I want to be better. I want to be the best version of myself. I want um, the people I love and care about to be able to get this best version of me. One of the things I realized about myself in therapy is that I'm a recovering people pleaser. I always want to achieve. I always want to be the best. I want you
Mhm.
like I don't care if you know that I'm the best,
Mhm.
but you're not gonna question my gangster, right? You're not gonna
Yeah.
you're not gonna question whether or not like
Yeah.
I got receipts for you. Like this is what I've done.
Yeah.
You didn't realize how prideful kind of I was in
Mhm.
that regard. Like I'm not a person who's gonna boast about that stuff
Mhm.
publicly, but like you're not gonna come at me and say I'm not. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. Here's my
Yeah.
resume, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I realized that like one, a lot of that self-facing stuff wasn't healthy for me, but then it was also a reflection of I need to be able to show my value in my work because I don't necessarily know if I have that for myself. If I see that in myself without doing those things,
That's a good
right?
point.
And so therapy showed me that, and I think that through different things, right, through being a student athlete to being married on TV, it was really, really challenging to go from this is who people know me as to this is what other people think of me
Mhm.
if I'm doing the things that make them feel seen, loved, and cared for. Um, their opinion of me doesn't matter as much, and like that's something I've been recovering from and healing from.
You made me think of like what people's opinion of you doesn't necessarily equate to reality.
Yeah,
And sometimes we think that it does. If
yeah,
they say good job, I must really be doing a good job.
yeah,
But if they didn't say it, I must not.
yeah,
But
yeah. Oh, I think it goes back to love languages too, though, right? Like quality time, my number one, my is words of affirmation is my second,
Mhm.
and I realized that like I was rejecting that words of affirmation, something that I care about, or I think about,
Yeah.
or that I need.
Mhm.
And that's something that I give freely. Like I'm
Yeah.
able to tell somebody like you did such a great job,
Yeah,
or
we
like
give it, but we don't
they're like,
accept it.
yeah, I need to receive, and it's okay for you to want to receive that.
Mhm.
And then if you don't receive that, that does not mean that your value is any less, or like how
Right.
it would have, or if you receive it, that your value is any greater, right? It just is, and I really struggled with that. I think one of the things I learned in therapy that I thought about was my mom and my sister in particular would always tell me that I wasn't. They didn't feel like I was present when they were talking to me,
Mhm.
and I didn't see that. Like
Mhm.
I did not see that at all. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'm listening to you. You're talking or whatever you're talking about. It doesn't seem like that's not that important to me, right? And like, what a terrible thing to say. What a terrible thing,
Yeah.
right? It's like yo, they're just talking, but like it's so dismissive. And they told me I would much rather you say, hey, I can't talk right now. Call me back
Mhm.
later,
Yeah.
and then when you can give me undivided attention, than just
Yeah.
like not listening. You know,
Yeah.
that's something I've had to work at consistently,
Yeah.
right?
Because you know you're doing a good thing because you were still answering the phone.
Right, I'm present. Like
Yeah.
you called me, I answered.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm here. What else do you need? But like to be able to realize, oh, you know what? I was not as great of an active listener as I thought I was.
Mhm.
I want to be a better active listener. And then, but then also, that's also been validated by them being like, hey, you've been a much better listener, right? And like that felt good. So you know, like I really have been working at this thing.
Yeah.
I've been trying really hard to be a better
Yeah.
listener.
Yeah.
But that skill is transferable to so many different places, right?
Mhm.
Like when you're in a meeting and like people know that you're paying attention to what they're saying, or like you're in a serious relationship and like that person knows that you're listening to them and they feel cared for and they feel seen. Like
Yeah.
that's a really important thing. I think that therapy allowed me to be able to realize how important it
Mhm. Yeah, you reminded me when you were talking of like giving affirmations but not wanting to receive it.
was. Yeah.
I've dealt with the same thing. I still am struggling to get rid of the idea of I'm the strong friend.
Mhm.
And I was going through a little something. I mean, I even say little because
Yeah.
I'm the strong friend.
Yeah.
I was recently going through something and I had a friend to be there for me.
Mhm.
And then, like I do to others, they were reaching out to me afterwards, like sending me words of encouragement, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I told my therapist, I said, I want to tell them to stop. Like, you don't have to do that. I'm
Yeah.
good now.
Yeah.
But she was like, give them that opportunity that that you do to others, and it
Yeah.
feels good to be there for others, and you want them to receive it because you
Yeah.
want them to know that you care about them.
Yeah.
Give them that same opportunity
Yeah.
and let them care about you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So then, you know, I started taking in a little more.
Yeah.
But you reminded me of that because some of the things that we give, we think we're open to receiving it, but we're not. And then later on, if it continues, we resent them for not getting it.
That's a bar. And I think that, so, whew, man, words. One of them is,
Uh-huh.
so going into this year, I'm not a big resolution person,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm a goal setter. I'm a whatever, but like,
Yeah.
I don't, not the end of the year type thing.
Mhm.
But one of the things this year I wanted to do is I had 2 words, and they were receive and surrender.
Mhm.
I want to be able to receive. I don't do a good job of receiving things from other people.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so like open myself up to be able to receive,
Yeah.
and then surrender to God's plan. Like whatever God's plan is for me, like I'm just trusting.
Yeah.
'Cause instead of trying to control things. And one of the things I've learned in this year is that one of the greatest signs of love that you can give to somebody is allowing them to care for you.
Mhm.
And I always thought that I'm
It's the other
showing
way
you that I
around.
care about you all the time, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm giving.
Yeah.
But like when you allow someone to do something for you, it's like, oh, you know what? That makes them feel good,
Yeah.
right? It feels so good to be able to help other people. But then if I'm not letting anybody help me, I'm also like blocking that blessing, right? And so, and that can be uncomfortable to receive, right? My mom yesterday, perfect example. My mom, we go to the Ravens game. I'm like cloud 9, and she was like, "Oh, so you want a jersey?" I'm like, "No, Mom, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. You don't need to do that." She's like, "Mom, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
Get your Ravens jersey." And
Yeah.
I'm like, in my mind, I'm like trying to talk myself out of receiving this thing
Yeah.
from her.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, Mom, thank you. Yeah, I'll get it." Right? Pick the jersey out. One, I'm glad I got the jersey.
Mhm.
But then 2, like my mom was so happy to be able to do that for me.
Yeah.
Right? And so we got to be able to receive. I think it's something that men in particular struggle with.
Mhm.
But then in general, like we all need to be
Yeah.
better at it.
Yeah, speaking of men, Pastor Brian Crawford shared with me in our last conversation that roughly 50% of men are not willing to share how they're doing. Well,
Yeah.
they're downplaying
Yeah.
how they're doing.
Yeah.
So they're sharing that they're doing better than they actually are.
Yeah.
In your opinion, as a male and even as a Black male,
Yeah.
because we know that probably is the stronger.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, and what can we do to kind of tilt that?
Yeah, I definitely think that the number is probably higher
Mhm.
than 50%. And I think of it for 2 reasons. One, I think that we're taught as men, just as Black men, that like
Mhm.
nobody cares how you feel. You show up, you do it, you do it anyway. Everyone else's feelings matter, but like yours aren't that important. You got to figure it out.
Mhm.
Support, provide, whatever,
Yeah.
right? Another side of it is people have expressed emotions and they haven't been able to hold it.
Mhm.
And both of those are really hurtful, harmful, and hurtful.
Yeah.
And I think that on one hand, I think that we're getting as a culture, we're getting better at men have emotions and feelings too.
Mm.
I think that's a really powerful thing in this whole in the mental health movement and just like social media. Like, okay, men have emotions and they are allowed to feel. I think that I'm grateful to see that. I think on the flip side of that, I don't think that we have been taught as people how to hold emotions for people, hold space for people.
Yeah.
And I can speak from my own experience. I'm so grateful to be blessed with a lot of people around me who like love the sport and are willing to just be a listening ear and pour into me, etc. But there've been times where I've shared with people and they've either threw it back in my face or dismissed me. I'm like a one and done with that. Like if I tell you something and like you use it against me or you dismiss it, whatever, I'm not coming back to you. Because it requires so much of me to be able to, at first, to be able to say like, this is what I need. And then for you not to be able to provide what I need or to reject it or whatever, like I imagine other men feel that same way, right? Like, hey, you wanted me to express to you how my feelings. You want me to talk. You want me to do X, Y, Z. I talk, and then you are like, throw it back in my face or no, or or try to one up me, which we talked about, right? Like, oh, well, yeah, well, you're tired, but I'm tired too. I had to watch the kids and I had to do this, and, right? And so,
Yeah,
okay, well,
yeah.
yeah, we both, that should be true. We both tired.
Yes,
But
yes.
right, but now don't dismiss the fact that I'm tired, right? And so
Right.
I think that we need to do a better job of teaching people how to hold space for Black men in
Mhm.
particular.
Yeah.
I think Black men need to be able to hold space for each other
Mhm.
in more intentional ways, and also like just continue to normalize like it's okay not to be okay,
Mhm.
right? Like nobody is perfect right now. Nobody's feeling great right now.
Nobody.
And the more that you are open and vulnerable, which this is a risk, right?
Yeah.
The more that you're open and vulnerable, the more you're going to attract people who are also open and vulnerable. They're going to be
Yeah.
feeling the same things that you're
Yeah.
feeling. If you don't feel like you have that community in like the physical presence, I'm grateful that there's like a digital presence where people like
Mhm.
really are willing to share
Yeah.
and be aligned with people. I mean, I found a Facebook group yesterday that was like so random. It's popped on my thing was like for left-handed people who write with their right hand, right? And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
me, right?
Oh,
Like,
like, really?
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't even know
yeah,
that was a
right. But
thing.
I didn't know how it popped up. I don't know, but I'm like, that's the thing, right? There's a community for everyone, and
Yeah.
so you're not alone. And I don't want you to feel like you're walking through life alone. And so, just knowing that there's people who are there's nothing new under the sun. Like
Yeah.
everyone has experienced. Someone has experienced something that you're going through,
Yeah.
and you don't have to be by yourself in that.
And
Even if the
probably a
people,
lot of people.
a lot of people, a
Mhm.
lot of people, and so don't feel like you have to go through that. Because even if people around you don't feel comfortable with, there's people elsewhere who are able
Yeah.
to help you out.
Yeah, including therapy, and it's nothing
And
like
therapy is a perfect, an easy space to go.
easy because they're
Easy,
gonna be your biggest cheerleader
easy.
regardless.
Yes, yes.
And the one thing that is nice to have is, like you said, like that community where you can be open
Sure.
with people. Because when you're not able to be open, you're not really yourself. Like you are just a part of you, but having that space where I can share my feelings and they can share mine and we
Yeah.
don't judge each other and it be okay.
Yeah.
And then also teaching people, like you said, how to hold space for people.
Yeah.
Because some people genuinely want to help
Yeah.
and they want to be there for you, but
Sure.
they don't know how to do that.
Yep.
And so they're quick to try to find a solution to your problem.
Yep.
They're quick to, like you said, want to one-up you, and they are quick to just cut you off and
Yep.
whatever, because they don't think, because you may not be portraying it with intense emotion,
Yeah.
they don't meet you with the presence that you need.
Yeah.
And some people need
Yeah.
explosive emotions for them to sit down, like, and say, oh, okay, you're sad.
Yeah.
But they don't pick up. They may not be as empathetic. They're not really picking up on, hey, this is a big thing for me to say, hey, I'm mad that I didn't wear my red shoes today because I thought it would have looked better, you know?
Yeah.
But that took a lot for me to admit because I always want to think that I got it together. And, someone not being able to
Yeah.
hold space for that,
Yeah.
it matters. And so I think teaching people, meaning you have to hold them accountable.
Yep.
Because if you can't hold your people accountable, the relationship is not healthy.
Yeah.
And if they're not willing to accept your perspective, they don't have to agree,
Yeah.
but accept your perspective, then there's going to be some disconnect.
Certainly. And if you're not receiving that in the relationships that are around you, like being seen or being heard, therapy is a perfect place to go.
Yeah.
Right? That person is paid to sit there for 30, 60, however long
Yeah.
to listen to you and to see you fully.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing, but also such a beautiful and powerful thing. And that in that time alone allows you to be able to have perspective, to be able to deal with the people around you, right?
Yeah.
To be able to accept them for who they are and be able to like teach them how to love you better, right? I think that that's such a critical thing because there's sometimes like there's some people are going to be who they are,
Yeah.
and that's just who they are,
Mhm.
and like, but being able to process that and like
Yeah.
be validated in that, like, yeah, what they're doing is not okay, and like, how are you gonna move with it? How are you gonna adjust to that?
Right.
Are you gonna continue to be in that relationship? If so, here's what you need to do.
Right.
If you're not gonna be in a relationship, you know how you tolerate that
Yeah.
person, whatever, right? And so or that thing, and so I think that's really important to be able to have someone, a sounding board, to be able to see you and do that.
Right. Yeah. And it's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
So like there are many ways in which you can navigate relationships.
Yeah.
And it's kind of personalized to who you are, who they are, what's best for you, what's best for them too. Because
Yeah.
if I gotta keep telling you all the time that, something ain't right between us, then it's best for both of us to
Yeah.
kind of put some distance. So my last question for you is, What would you tell someone who is on the fence about therapy or not really willing to be open and vulnerable to those that they love and care about
Mm.
with their emotions?
I'll start with therapy. I think that if you're on the fence, let's say that going to the gym is your thing, right? Like going to the gym by yourself, you can get results, right? But if you go to the gym and you're working with somebody, or you have a trainer, or you're going with a friend who can spot you and whatever, you're going to be able to lift more weight. You're going to be able and you're going to be able to get better faster. So I'm not saying that therapy is the cure for everything, but it's going to get you better faster, and it's going to give you perspective on yourself and the world around you in a way that is going to, when things come your way, you're going to be able to handle it so much better, so much easier. That's my experience. And then also, like, you're not always going to need, like, I went to therapy the first time by myself, like out of like crisis. Therapy can be a responsive thing, a reactive thing, but I don't ever want to be in a situation where it's a survival
It's
thing.
got to that
I
point.
have to do that. Like
Yeah.
never again do I want to be in a space like that.
Yeah.
And so to proactively be able to be in therapy, I think that's just a part of what you do to make sure you're better and be able to see the world differently and interact with people differently, be able to get to the next level in whatever thing you're pursuing. Like, that's a special thing. I do think there are a lot of things that can turn people off from therapy or turn people away from therapy.
Yeah.
And so I want to make people mindful of that. Is just like, you might not have a perfect fit for you as a therapist.
Yeah.
Therapists are human. They make mistakes. They may not be the best fit. Like, but don't let that discourage you from finding your person. You can see you shop around. I like to like tell people 3 or 4 times, three or 4 sessions with a therapist to see like if you really are feeling them. Because like once you find that person and you're with them consistently and like they've seen your ups and downs, they can sense your mood and like you're down today. You seem like you're in a good space today. Or, how did that thing go? Right? How did you do the homework that we talked about? Right? Like that stuff is really life-giving and healthy for you.
Yeah.
In terms of like being on the fence about emotions with your people, I think that's a hard one for me, because I hope that people are able to hold space for you and be able to see you and hear you fully. But I don't think there's ever anything wrong with expressing how you feel in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And then, and if people don't respond in the way that you need them to, making sure that they know, like, hey, this is what I need from you. This is what that looks like. Because some people need that. And I don't think we can assume that people just know how to do that.
Right.
You have to teach people how to love you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think one of the ways that you can practice that, you can role play something with a therapist. You can like
Yeah.
all those things, right? It goes back to therapy. Like you have the space to be able to do that in therapy. You can role play that hard conversation you're not trying to have. You can discuss like how this person might react and like what would you do then, right? Like it's practice for you. And so yeah, I'm a strong proponent of just being able to just go into the space, go with an open mind, see what you like and what you don't like. Don't think that you need to be in it forever. You might not have to be in it forever, but being able to know that you have that person you can go back to or a space you can go to is really important.
Yeah. Thank you.